Kia ora. E ngā mana, e ngā reo, e ngā iwi, raurangatira mā, nau mai, hari mai, piki mai, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Yn Gymraeg, iaith fy nhadau in Welsh, the language of my fathers, bore da, a croeso i chi gyd. Good morning and welcome to you all. Ko Mark Evans, toko ingoa. My name is Mark Evans. I'm the Deputy Chief Executive Insights and Deployment with the New Zealand Police, and also privileged to be the Vice President of the Australia and New Zealand Society of Evidence-Based Policing. On behalf of Ngā Perihimana o Aotearoa, the New Zealand Police, wherever in the world you are taking part, a warm welcome to virtual Aotearoa, New Zealand. We look forward to bringing you a wealth of insights into evidence-based policing, as well as a sense of the culture and values of the New Zealand Police, just as we would if you'd been able to travel to Aotearoa, New Zealand, to attend this conference in person. Now, we're extremely proud to be the first country and police service to stand up and fully implement an evidence-based policing centre, which builds on work that's been underway here for a number of years. In the nearly 4 years since the centre was established, it's made an increasingly important contribution to policing in this country, and I'm delighted that today it's a key partner in hosting this flagship conference. At a time when policing is probably under more scrutiny than ever before, certainly in my professional lifetime, using data, insights and evidence has arguably never been more important. And I'm really delighted that we've attracted so many high-quality academics, practitioners, and informed commentators to this event to share their skills, knowledge, and experience with us. We have a world-class studio set up in Auckland, from which we're broadcasting this event, and I'm looking forward personally to contributing, listening, learning, and debating with you all. Once again, the warmest of welcomes to Aotearoa, New Zealand, and I now welcome our President and my good friend, Dave Cowan, to officially open our conference. Kia ora, Dave.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you to New Zealand Police for all their efforts along the way in pulling the conference off. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands on which we're all meeting virtually and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. In 2013, the University of Queensland ran an evidence-based policing workshop with police at Customs House in Brisbane. It was run by Professor Lorraine Mazerol, and as a result, then Assistant Commissioner Peter Martin of the Queensland Police Service formed the Australia and New Zealand Society of Evidence-Based Policing. And for the next 5 years, we held annual conferences at the Australian Institute of Police Management in Manly, under Peter's leadership, which then passed to Deputy Commissioner Steve Brown of Western Australia Police, and then to Assistant Commissioner Debbie Platts of Queensland Police. In 2018, we realised we had exceeded our capacity at Manly for our annual conference, which was about 60. So we were just simply knocking too many people back. So in 2019, we held our conference at Old Parliament House in Canberra, and 200 people turned up, and we were pretty happy with that. We thought that we should continue to evolve, and when COVID, the challenges of COVID confronted us, we made the big decision to go online with the generous assistance of New Zealand Police being our host. As of today, over 1,700 people have registered for this conference. Every rank, from constable to commissioner, is represented. Every police agency, state, territory and federal across Australia, as well as New Zealand Police, are represented. We have other international police joining us from the UK, USA, Canada and Spain and others. What a remarkable journey for the Society. When the executive met last face-to-face in 2019, we made the decision to appoint an eminent Australian as our inaugural patron. The decision as to who that would be was unanimous. Air Chief Marshal Sir Angus Houston. Sir Angus has had a very distinguished life and career, to say the least. He retired as Chief of the Australian Defence Force in 2011 after 41 years service. And in 2012, Sir Angus led the expert panel on asylum seekers. He was the chair of the ANZSEBP Centenary Advisory Board and chair of Air Services Australia for many years. In 2014, he was appointed as the Prime Minister's Special Envoy to lead Australia's efforts to help recover, identify and repatriate Australians killed in the Malaysia Airlines flight MH17 disaster. Sir Angus also led the Australian government work in the search for Malaysian Airlines flight MH370 in 2014. Sir Angus was knighted in January 2015 for extraordinary and preeminent achievement and merit in service to Australia. So today, we are very privileged to formally announce the appointment of Sir Angus as the patron of the Society. And as President, I would like to personally extend my appreciation to him. And I'd now like to invite Sir Angus to say a few words of acceptance. And we'll just sort some audio there.
So we are just going to try and find the audio and get that sorted for you so we can hear from Sir Angus, who is, of course, joining us virtually live. This is, of course, the world of technology that we live in, folks. So hopefully we'll get that sorted for you very soon and then cross to Sir Angus Houston, and hopefully we'll get him soon. But for now, I'll just ask a couple of questions, if I can, to Dave in anticipation of Sir Angus joining us very soon. And Dave, it's great to have you with us. What are you most looking forward to out of this conference this year?
Well, previously, we had like 10 or 12 short shots where police would come along and present their own evidence. It's amazing. At this conference, we have 50 10-minute short shots. And they're really good because police don't want to sit there for hours listening to some long-winded presentation. These 10-minute short shots hit you between the eyes and give police what they need to really think about how they can innovate and doing evidence-based work in their own agency. So I think that's really exciting. Plus, the list of keynotes, we have some of the most prestigious criminologists in the world with us in this conference. So we're very privileged to have people such as Professor Lawrence Sherman and others join us. And so I'm really looking forward to those presentations.
And Dave, just one more question before we throw to Sir Angus. I think we're just about ready. You do have an excellent range of speakers throughout the conference this week. How long has it taken to organise this conference, given, of course, the impediments of COVID-19?
Well, we had to miss last year's conference, and as we were trying to make sense of the world and what presented, as we went on, we soon realised it was just going to be too hard to meet with the uncertainty. So Mark, myself, and the organising committee, which has representatives from across Australia, we made the decision to go online with a lot of unknown. We didn't know if anyone would turn up, and look at what's happened. So in reality, it's actually been a blessing. It's forced us to adapt. When you think from 50 people turning up to 1,700, it's all about getting the information to frontline police, and that's the exciting part about this.
It is, as you say, very exciting. Thank you, Dave. We will come back to you more. But for now, again, it's a privilege to have with us Sir Angus Houston. Sir Angus, hopefully you can hear me there. I'll hand over to you now.
Tēnā koutou katoa. I'm delighted to speak to you today. I'm disappointed I can't be with you in person. Some time ago, I was approached to be the inaugural patron of the Australia-New Zealand Society of Evidence-Based Policing. After learning about the focus of the Society and the work that is currently underway in Australia, New Zealand, and across the world, I had no hesitation in accepting the offer. From my background as Chief of the Defence Force in Australia and my work more recently with the Victorian Police and the Australian Federal Police, I understand the importance of research and the development of capability that values evidence. Today, you have an impressive agenda before you. I'm sure it will stimulate many questions and much discussion. Enjoy the conference, and it's my great pleasure to accept the invitation to be the inaugural patron of the Australia and New Zealand Society of Evidence-Based Policing. Have a good day. Thank you.
Sir Angus, e te rangatira tēnā koe, and thank you very much. Mark, it's great to have Sir Angus joining us and to have him open this conference.
Absolutely. Dev and myself have spent probably a year actually talking to Sir Angus about the Society, about what we're trying to achieve, and it's an absolute privilege to have somebody of Sir Angus's mana and esteem as our patron. I think it sets the Society up for the next stage of its journey to really ensure that evidence-based policing becomes the way in which policing services around the world evolve, and it's never been more important. So it's absolutely fantastic to have Sir Angus as part of this conference and as patron of our Society.
Thank you, Mark. And Dave, one final question to you at this stage. Mark used the word mana. I'm sure you've heard that word before from Aotearoa New Zealand, esteem, respect, prestige. How important is it to have someone of Sir Angus's mana as a part of the conference and as a part of this society?
Look, it's so important. Sir Angus not only brings the wealth of experience, but his wisdom will be greatly appreciated. Sir Angus has indicated that he's not just going to be a passive patron from time to time, he's going to be a contributor to our strategic discussions. So we're very privileged that Sir Angus accepted the patronage.
I'm glad you say that, Dave. Sir Angus, there you go. You won't be passive, you will be active. It's great to have you a part of the Society, and thank you very much.